else to make sure
It just went live. I saw
it
it on
just
my
went
phone.
live. All right. So we're live now officially. And I want to welcome everyone to the first inaugural, the brand new expert interview series that we're kicking off here in our Facebook group, The Art and Science of Transformation. And I have here with me Amy Hager. And I'm really excited to chat with Amy and for her to be the first in this series because we're going to be talking about a topic that I love, which is how to use joy in your marketing. So let me just bring Amy on the line.
Hey there.
Hey, how's it going? So what we'll do is, for those of you watching live, throw down hashtag live if you're watching live. And if you're watching the replay, throw down hashtag replay so we can get more engagement, get more people to see this awesome content. And just it'll let us know who all's here and watching too. So, okie dokie. Let's go into the bio real quick. But before I do that, I want to explain why we're doing this series with experts like Amy. And really the purpose of it is to bring in outside people who are experts in a particular domain that we're not experts in. We might know a little something about, but we're not experts in. Because our core area of focus for the people who know us is, mindset and creating rapid transformations inside of people's emotional brain, which I won't go into today. But we know that our audience, which is coaches and consultants, they also need, outside experts to help, right? Being a successful coach isn't just about mindset. It's also about marketing and strategy and sales and, the stuff that most coaches dread when they start their business, That's why we have Shannon on. So, so that's what we're doing with here is this series is to bring you some insights, some practical tips, tricks and stuff. And I'm loving, what we have in store for you with Amy. So, all right. Is it cool if I read your bio now and let them know what all is going on?
On track.
All right, cool. So I'm going to read Amy's bio, and Amy Hager is all about that joy in life and biz. And she's specifically known around the globe for the joyful marketing methodology, which is founded by M. Shannon Hernandez. Amy works with online coaches and consultants, teaching them how to grow a highly profitable business that includes abundant time off. Amy, a true marketer at heart, helps clients apply simple strategies for increased revenue and productivity. And when she's not working with clients, you'll find her funding projects that impact the world and its people, visiting wineries, and traveling the world. So, yay. Awesome. Welcome, Amy. I'm excited to have you.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Thanks for inviting me to be your first guest. I'm really excited that you're doing this for your community and your group.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. And for sure. I think it's all about bringing value to people and, that's what I'm all about. So I know you and Shannon are all about that too. So
yeah, definitely. I love, I've been working with Shannon for a while now but have been in her universe and following her for years. And I think the one thing that I always come back to that I love is that community that we've built.
Yeah.
And, showing up in service and really helping each other because all boats rise when all tides, whatever the saying is. Even though I don't remember the saying, truly
what is
believe
it? Rising tide rises all ships or something like that.
Thank you.
Some complicated literary way of saying it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm all about that too, for sure. So it's one of the things that I really connected with when I came into your world was that philosophy behind things. So for sure. Okay, cool. Well, let me ask you this. You actually suggested this opening question and I absolutely love it. So I'm going to ask you, what would you say is your zone of genius? Like, what's the thing that you're just amazing at?
Yeah. So it's funny because a lot of the things that we do are around marketing and selling and being that confident expert that you are, right? Mm-hmm. But when I laser focus in on my zone of genius, it is building that community. Yeah. And that's what I love about helping other people is when you build that community around you, that community of clients, of future clients, of supporters, of encouragers, of cheerleaders. It's just such a beautiful gift and the
Mhm.
gift that keeps on giving. And
Mhm.
so really when I'm in my zone, I am helping people build their community so that way when they are marketing, it's not scary or sucky. When they are selling, it's enjoyable conversation.
Mm.
And so, yeah, when I look at everything I've ever done over my entire career, even from when I used to race go-karts and cars when I was younger,
Mm.
even when you look at what I did back then when I was like at the ripe old age of 11, I was
Mhm.
building this community around me.
That's awesome.
And so
That's
I think it's
awesome.
like very, very strong common thread throughout my life.
That's so cool. And that is so underrated too, because I'll say that when you talk to a business owner, an entrepreneur, and you tell them you really need to focus on building community,
Mhm.
like from the start, I didn't get that at first.
Yeah.
I did not get the importance of like what you can do in terms of everything involved, and like it's more than just building an audience. It's so
Yes.
much more than that too. You can tap into your community for expertise. You can
Yes.
you can build value with people at scale. You can build relationships with people at scale. So
100%.
it's a wonderful thing to focus on,
Right.
just like even from the beginning. If you're not already, coaches, hint hint, um,
Tip 1.
right. Tip number one. Before we've even gotten into the tips, we've got some good stuff going.
Love it.
So awesome. I love that. Okay. So let's kind of shift and talk about joy for a second,
Definitely.
because it's not a very common like topic in marketing, right?
Right.
To say the least,
Yeah.
but it should be. And so let me ask you this. I think for some people who hear that for the first time, they might ask themselves like, okay, can I really just like market and sell in a way that brings me joy and still be a successful coach or consultant, right? So
Yeah.
what would you say to that?
Uh, Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So one thing that I love that Shannon came up with is if it ain't joyful, we ain't doing that shit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've
Awesome.
I've done marketing in nonprofits. I've done it in small business. I've done it with, coaches and consultants.
Mhm.
And the common thing that I always hear is, "Oh, I'm on LinkedIn, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, I'm TikToking, I have a
Yes.
Pinterest page, I also have my website, I have an email list, but I may not be sending a newsletter, or maybe I am sending a newsletter. It's a kind of a 50-50 split."
Mhm.
And it's like you're so busy being in all of these different places
Yes. Yes.
that it's draining.
Right.
And so we really, really believe that you could pick one platform with
Mhm.
one offer
Mhm.
and really sell to one person
Mm.
and be successful.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely. That
that's
focus, that simplicity, and that
exactly
focus. Absolutely.
yeah,
I was so guilty of that when we first
right.
started out, was trying to be everywhere and do all things.
Mhm, mhm.
And it's the absolute wrong strategy for someone who's a solopreneur, especially,
Well,
you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
or
Well,
even
and
if you have a small team, it's still the wrong strategy. Like you
especially
can't
like
be everywhere.
well, you can't be everywhere and like I don't know, the interface and user platforms on all of these different
Right.
social medias are super, super different.
Right. They're different. Yep.
And there's millions of people on all of them.
Yeah.
Your people are going to be on all of them.
Right.
And I know
Right.
I get some people who come to me and say, "Well, I'm on LinkedIn because that's where my clients are."
Right. Right.
But I
Right.
hate it.
Right.
Or I'm
Right.
on Facebook, that's where my clients are because I am targeting women age, 45 to 60. And according to the latest studies,
Right.
which I don't want to like downgrade those studies, data and
Sure.
analytics is very important. But if you are dreading doing your marketing, going on social media, stepping up as that confident expert, if it
Mhm.
ain't joyful and it is a chore,
Yeah.
you need to rethink about what you're doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think if it feels like a chore, you're not doing it
Mhm.
effectively, right? Like
Right.
I hate to say it like that, but you know what I mean? Like if it
Right.
feels like an obligation or something you have to do, then you're not transmitting that joyful energy out into the
Exactly.
world, into your clients too. And they'll pick up on that,
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Like if you are dreading going live, that energy is out there. And even through Zoom, through video, like all of that,
right.
all that comes across. And I think one thing though too is it's like people don't reflect and question what they're doing enough.
Right.
And so one thing that Shannon has done really well is put together a joy quiz.
Yeah.
So that way you can check in with yourself
Mhm.
and really ask yourself that deep question, is this joyful?
Yeah.
And have the right questions to kind of guide you to find that next best step.
That's awesome.
And so our joy quiz is a really great, free, easy tool that anyone can use, that if they're just like questioning, they're not quite for sure, like, what the heck do I do to figure out my joy?
Yeah.
Totally get that. So
Yeah.
I would definitely give our joy quiz a try and see
Yeah.
what happens. See how it comes out and spend that 15 minutes just checking in with yourself, with your business, and what you're doing in this world.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And we're at the end of the interview, we're going to drop a couple links to a couple quizzes that you guys
Yeah.
have created actually, and the joy quiz and the content personality quiz. So for
Mhm.
those of you who don't know how to find that, just stick around and we'll drop the links to make it super easy for you to find too. I've taken both of these quizzes and I definitely recommend you take them because they both kind of hit at joy and hit at what we've been talking about in kind of unique angles. So let's actually do that. Let's talk for a second about the content personality quiz, which is the other one.
Yeah.
And that one, well, let me just say when I took it,
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting and affirming because I got live video, right?
Right.
That or you should do like lives and interviews and stuff.
Right.
Which here we are, so
Da-da-da-da!
right. And I do really love the energy of video and live and that kind of
Right.
stuff too. So,
Right.
but some people don't. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
they don't, right? And it's just a part of knowing yourself, right? So
Right.
tell them a little bit more about like that quiz and what they can expect with it.
Yeah. So same theory of like, you could be on every single platform and just spinning your wheels and hating it.
Yeah.
We also need to look at how you like to talk about yourself, how you like to talk about your business, how you like to interact with people.
Yeah.
Some people are amazing writers and writing is their jam. Some people are like Josh and I, live in person. I can sit here and do interviews and be on Zoom 9 hours a day and like my cup is full. Like I love it.
Yeah.
There's others who showing up on video isn't what they want, but they still love the audio component. So there's an audio content personality. And once you realizing what your content personality is, then deciding what platform you want to be on, and then deciding like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do to establish yourself as that confident expert and putting content out there? And if you are a live in person, but are, I guess, chained to a blog because you think you need to be blogging,
Right.
I'm questioning, like, is that actually enjoyable?
Right. Absolutely. No. And people, I think the bottom line with all this, which has become very clear to me recently, is that people think they have to do things that they don't actually have to do in order to be successful. Right. And it's just because they've been misled, I think largely by gurus who maybe didn't intentionally mislead them, but they're at a completely different strategy or a completely different level, or they've got their own unique way of doing things in the world. And so they're like, well, just follow my system. And it doesn't work if you're not like genetically engineered, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like to be like that person,
Well, and Josh, let me give you a really cool example. So I was using this content personality quiz to build out a team to sell standardized construction contracts. Boring. None of us are lawyers, young 20s, first jobs in the association space. And in the interview process, I had these kids, these young professionals, not kids, taking the content personality quiz. And I wanted to make sure that my team was well-rounded. I am a live in-person person. I will go to every trade show. I will stand on that stage and I will talk and love about construction contracts all day long. I needed someone who was more of the written style. I needed someone to then also get on the phone with folk and walk them through, where they are now, which is usually island of suck, and how to get to the island of success using standardized contracts.
Yeah.
Team of 3 built that out. We sold $1.3 million in standardized subscription
Wow.
contracts.
That's amazing.
Again, none of us are lawyers.
Right.
And so even though when I work now with coaches and consultants, usually the business that they're doing is something that's their passion, right?
Yeah.
Something that they love, that they've been, called to do. And so when I can take someone who is called to do something, and then we can figure out their content personality and then figure out what's joyful in their marketing,
Mm,
none of us go into solo business to continue to do things we hate. You could have stayed in the
absolutely.
corporate world. You could have stayed doing that
Absolutely.
sucky 9 to 5 or 80-hour
Absolutely.
work week.
Mm,
So really, you don't have to follow what
mm.
everybody else is doing. If you follow your joy.
That's right. Absolutely. I'm a huge, yeah, everything you said is just 100% resonated with it.
Yeah.
And I do think that good marketing really brings out the essence of who you are. And like, that's like, as you're yourself as a company, your values, what you stand
Mhm.
for, and also your personality too. It should reflect that, because if you don't put your personality into it, it's super boring.
Right.
Our initial branding was, I'm just as a sidebar. I know we're, we're getting off track here, but our initial branding was so corporate-y and so like,
Mhm.
like black and gold. And we were wearing tuxes, like literally wearing tuxes in our, like our professional photos. And I
Yeah.
look back and at that now, and I like almost want to throw up in my mouth a little bit, cause it was just so not us, like who we
Right.
are. And
Right.
so, but it's because it's who we thought we needed to be,
Yep.
And so,
Exactly.
anyways, that's part of that whole journey of discovering the lies behind
Mhm.
marketing too. So,
Well, and discovering yourself
and
as a
discovering
business
yourself.
owner, as a service provider, yeah, really just looking in and again, operating from that place of joy instead of operating from that place of, well, the world told me I have to do it
Right.
this way.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
So let me, I know we were going to touch on this and we already have for a couple seconds, but do you
Mhm.
have any tips on like, um, finding and playing in these social media spaces that you, and, how to do that, like which platform to choose if you're,
Right.
just at a high, I know it's customized and particular to each person's business too, but
Right, right. Well, exactly. So I would say, if you're a live in person or even video, obviously doing interviews like this,
yeah.
streaming on your social channels, maybe you have a YouTube channel. If you love TikTok, why not?
Mhm.
And leveraging that, if you are that writer, yes, having that blog, publishing on Medium,
Yeah.
publishing on your website. I see a lot of people who use their blogs in Pinterest. They also like to tie photos to things.
Yeah.
So, blending that together, really, if you're an audio person, podcasting, I think is a great, great thing that you can be doing.
Yeah.
But also, sometimes you can dabble in the other one. Maybe going live on your Facebook group
Mhm.
is, or on your personal page as an audio is what's comfortable to you, or
Mhm.
recording the video. So there
Mhm.
is some playful experimenting that you get to do as the CEO of your business, as a business owner, to really decide, what do you like? What do you like to
Mhm.
do? And when do you want to do it? How does it work in the flow of your day?
Yeah.
And so I would just encourage you to play
Mhm.
and remind yourself that you can't choose wrong as
Right.
long as you are doing it joyfully and you're
Yeah.
choosing joy first.
Love that. Love that. That's awesome. Oh,
Yeah.
very good. Okay, cool. Well, I know we're at the 20-minute mark
Yeah.
and we wanted to, our plan for this was to get in and, you know, get some value packed
Yeah. I feel like
action
this was a good
stuff.
one.
So are there any final thoughts that, before we talk about the quizzes and where they can find those? Um, would you like to share a little bit more like the high level overview of the Confident Expert program for the
Oh,
people that
yeah.
are listening?
Definitely. Thanks. So, the Confident Expert program, for those of you who are listening, if you are feeling unclear about your messaging, if you are not excited about your marketing, if you do not love it, and
Mhm.
if having sales conversations freaks you out,
Mhm.
the Confident Expert program is really where we help you figure that out. And again, it's not going to be the same for you as it is for me, as it is for Josh. And so having that safe space to play, to learn, and to grow, so that way you can attract those ideal clients, serve them and really do what you are meant to do in this world.
For
So
sure.
I think the one thing that I love is a lot of people go into business because, again, they have that calling,
Mhm.
but they may not understand or know how to market. They may not
Yeah.
understand the sales conversation. And so come with us, come play with us. We will help you figure
Mhm.
that out in the Confident Expert program.
That's awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's huge. Like marketing and sales, like I said earlier, for coaches is so important to,
Yeah.
um, you don't have to be an expert in it, right? You
No,
really don't.
you
Like
don't.
you don't, but you do need to have a basic level of proficiency in both of those skills. If you want to create clients on demand, if you want
Yeah.
to have a practice that's overflowing with an abundance of clients and that kind of thing too. So it's like, I see sometimes coaches are just like, can I just like outsource this, like all of
Mhm.
my marketing, all of my sales and just like
Yeah.
work with clients. And, um, I mean, maybe, but it doesn't
Right.
really work like that usually.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing, like, again, when they're buying from you, they're
Right.
relating to you. They're
Exactly.
learning to
Exactly.
trust you. They're
Right.
learning to like and love you.
Right.
And so having marketing and selling that comes from that
Right.
is comfortable for you,
Absolutely. Right.
so key. It's a
And
game changer, Josh. It
it
really, really
absolutely is.
is. Like,
It absolutely
people
is.
come to us crying miserable, and they are ready to throw in the towel and go get a corporate job again
Mhm.
because they
Mhm.
don't have the clients to serve, and
Yeah.
it all feels shitty.
And it feels shitty too because you feel like you're not making that impact that
Yep,
you were born to do, and that you are.
exactly.
Most coaches are really good at coaching, good at
Right?
coaching, and they love it, but they just kind of get tripped up on the
Yep.
marketing and sales and client acquisition side.
Exactly,
So
exactly.
yeah, but
Come
that's what we're
play.
trying to do. Yeah, come play with them and learn from them. They're both awesome. Amy and Shannon are both just super genuine people, and it shines through in their marketing and everything they do. So, um, yeah, it's one of the things that attracted me about y'all's work. So,
Thanks, Josh.
absolutely. Well, let's close by telling them, where you can find the quizzes. I will actually
Mhm.
post this in the comments. I've got the links for y'all. It's pretty simple. There's two
Yeah,
quizzes.
2 quiz. The joy
Which
quiz
joy quiz?
and then the content personality quiz. So if you go to mshannonhernandez, all
Yep.
one word, .com,
Hmm.
that will get you started. You'll be able to see, like I said, our Confident Expert program. We do have a couple retreats coming up. But that's a great place to start. But also feel free to find me on Facebook, DM me. Gosh, I love having conversations. So
Hmm. Yeah.
don't worry. And I think the one thing too that I really love about mine and Shannon's practice is once you're in our universe, we will love on you no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think that is a great way. And we have a very awesome Facebook group that's a loving, supporting community. And just because you're a solo business owner doesn't mean you need to be doing this in a
Right.
solo silo.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Love that. I was doing my best to put the chat in the comments section, but for some reason it's not coming up for me. So I will do it after
Okay.
we conclude the interview so people can find both of those quizzes easily. Cause I know sometimes you hear it and you're like typing it in and like, what was that? So I'll make
No
sure that
worries.
gets added for those of you who are interested in doing that. So
Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you
Thanks.
so much, Amy, for being the first guest on this series. And
Woohoo, congratulations on completing your first interview, Josh.
thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's been so much fun that I'm like, excited about continuing to do this.
Yeah,
So,
this was
and
good.
you did we talked about a lot of different insights and a lot of really cool things that I think will, the coaches market will find very valuable. So,
Definitely. Well, thanks for having me.
absolutely. Thanks so much for being on. All right, see ya.
Bye.